Yeah. I'm back. Yeah. Now, Engineer Namano, I think you asked us as to why we have two regulatory bodies.
Yes.
Yes, it has some history,
Yes.
which is it is a Kenyan culture of exclusivity.
I like that.
Yeah, Kenyans are having that culture of self-importance. They just feel that this is our turf, nobody should encroach, and so forth. So, just as you're saying, we initially had one body that was in charge of all engineering practitioners. And then we had a chance to reform the, the regime of engineering management because we had the Engineers Registration Act at that time. Because what was managing engineering practice at that time was a board under the Ministry of Public Works. Actually, the chairman of Engineers Registration Board was the permanent secretary of Public Works.
That's right.
And the registrar was a superintending engineer, seconded there by the permanent secretary. So he's someone who could be moved at any time. So it was just a small department under the Ministry of Public Works. Then there was now a need to make it more, to have more mandates, to be more independent, and to have a very clear mandate. And that is when now we started the process of writing Engineers Act. So Engineers Act was written over a long period of time, and of course it went through a few amendments before it came to be what it is right now. And it is at that time when a few of engineers decided to create a distinction between what they wanted to call engineers and what they were calling technologists and technicians. And I don't know why they thought that the best way to create that distinction is to have an act of parliament which only talks about people they are calling engineers and exclude what the people they are calling technologists and technicians.
Yeah.
So technologists and technicians, having been labeled by engineers that way, felt marginalized. And again, Kenya being what it is, everything is politicized. They had to look for some political patronage in order to also claim their space. And they succeeded. They succeeded in also being recognized as what they are. And that is how we ended up with the two regulatory bodies. In other words, the two regulatory bodies are there not because it's a well thought out process, which is a product of a systematic move. It was as a result of marginalization. A certain section of the engineering fraternity was deliberately branded as people who are not or do not qualify to be called engineers. And they had to fight for survival. And that's how they actually championed the enactment of an act of parliament to regulate technologies and technicians who had been marginalized by the Engineers Act. That is how we ended up with two regulatory bodies. Thank you.